All right, guys, it's been a couple days, but we're back here at the Dream Garage build, and a few things have happened. I did put in the drains for the downspouts. The gutter guy came, 100-foot gutter across the front, downspouts, and we also put in some, we finished the floor drains for the building. You can see them stubbed up, but another big hurdle done is we got all the stone inside the building, got it all leveled out. And we're now on to doing the foam. So laid down this plastic here as a vapor barrier. I'm gonna start pulling from these piles, get it going down that wall and start running back. These humps here, as you can see, are squares. Those are forms to pre-pour concrete bases, so I can eventually have a 2-post car lift in here. The specs say that you only need 6 inches of concrete, which my floor itself is going to be 6 inches of concrete, but I wanted to just reinforce it, get a little more depth in those spots there, just to be on the safe side. So we're going to put rebar in there. We're going to pre-pour those, bend the rebar over, and then that'll tie it into the top 6-inch floor when they pour that. So that'll be good. That'll be nice and sturdy. Those are 2x2 boxes. And yeah, so at this point, we have the foam to do, and then we'll have PEX to go in all the foam board, and we'll also have the plumbing to do over here on the living space side. Now, some of you are probably wondering why the plumbing's not already in there if I already did the stone. Well, I met with the plumber, and he told me that in order for us to get our angles or our pitch of a 1/4 inch per foot, it'd be really easy if we had the stone in here. It'd be a lot easier to work with. We wouldn't be playing in the dirt and the mud, because the volume of the water that was coming off the roof here kept flooding the pad because the pad was level and it didn't really have anywhere to go. I did install a French drain down the front and down out the side, and that has significantly helped, but the biggest thing that helped was getting these gutters on, because now it's taking all the water that was coming off that massive roof and sending it out over the bank. So in the living space side, we're going to have some piping that comes pretty much in or goes out of the building underneath that window area. It's gonna come over to a kitchen sink area. There's gonna be a half bath over there, so that'll get tied in. And then we gotta run some plumbing over to this corner here, because there's gonna be, some more bathrooms upstairs that I need plumbing to. So that'll all be coming. I'm just trying to get a jump start on this foam. The weather's been kind of crappy, but since the whole building's sealed in now, I can work in here while it's raining. So get a jump start on the foam, and once we get a good jump on that, we'll probably switch back to the plumbing maybe this weekend and get that going. So I'm gonna get the camera set up, start getting the foam board out, and this stuff here, I'm sure a lot of you probably have already seen it, but it looks like a Lego head, and the PEX just clicks in between the squares or the octagons here, and each sheet fits together because of the way it overlaps. So it just kind of locks together, and it should be a pretty easy install. Basically, you just gotta lay it down and click it together. Now, as you can tell, there's obviously space left between these 2 posts. So I've debated whether I was gonna carve out each one of these sheets around this post, or just get other flat sheets and cut sections that are, the width between the 2 posts and lay it in there. I went with the later option. It'll be a lot faster for me to just cut straight pieces that are 5.5 inches wide and lay them in there than sit here and try to notch out each one of those and still allow the boards to overlap and, the octagons to align so the PEX runs through it. So gonna do that, and should speed up the whole process. So I'm just gonna get this first row straight and out a ways, and then we'll come back to our second row and keep going. All right, so we're back here again today. We got all the foam finished around the edges of the walls. We came up vertically 6 inches with some foam, and then we got the heatcrete or the HYDROFOAM for the PEX. Last night we did a test run on the PEX for the living space. We got that all done. That's just under 1,000 feet. I think it was like 920 feet we did there, and now we got about another 4,000 feet to do over here. So little redneck ingenuity. We got a excavator holding up a spud bar with a piece of pipe on it, and then a 1,000-foot roll of pipe. So we're gonna see if this works or not. Yesterday, instead of holding it up like this, I held up the 4-inch pipe in my own arms, and I had to keep heaving the roll around to unravel it as 2 other people rolled it out and stepped on it. And by the end of the first roll, my arms were dying. So we're gonna try this, see if it works, and go from there. So the plumbing or the PEX for the living quarters is all gonna get brought over here, because there's gonna be a utility closet that has a lot of, you know, my well water, my electric. There's gonna be a header for the living space, toilet, slop sink, some stuff here in the utility closet. And then the plumber told me that it's gonna be a lot better if I do a centralized location for the header for the garage space, and then we'll just plumb one large line over to feed that header from the boiler, which will be over here. So that's what we're going with. We're gonna give it a shot and see if 4,000 feet covers this whole area. They told us that it's roughly 1,000 feet per 1,000 square foot of the building. So we should be pretty close. I hope I'm not short, but if I am, I guess I'll be making a trip to get more PEX, because concrete's coming in 2 days. So we ain't got time to spare. So let's get this camera set up. Let's start pulling out this PEX and see if we can't get it laid out. All right, guys, we're back today. This is the day before the concrete pour. We are wrapping up some very small loose ends here. Last couple of days have been very busy, as you can see with the foam and the PEX. We've officially ran 5,000 feet of PEX through this floor. This half over here, from here over, is living space, and that majority of the building is all garage space. We decided to do a header there and a header there. It'll be 2 separate zones. It'll be the same boiler system, and there'll be like one line that's plumbed over to there to feed that header for the garage. But anyway, just wanted to touch base with you guys. We got the 6 inches of foam vertical on all the walls to create a full envelope. We've got 2.5 inches of foam underneath our feet that we're walking across. As far as the PEX goes, we got some conduit sweeps, and we're sweeping PEX up through, and then my buddy had a decent idea of drilling some holes through a 2x4 just to keep them kind of smooth and uniform coming up through the wall. We got them all marked, you know, return and inlet. So at this point, the only thing I have left to do is do that same exact setup over here. This one's gonna take me a little bit because there's 26 lines that I gotta route up through this 2x that I've got my tools sitting on at the moment. But we're gonna just get this wrapped up, and then concrete comes first thing in the morning tomorrow. It's gonna be a long night for me. My normal full-time job, I actually have to work overnight tonight due to the storm that's rolling through. So it's gonna be a long 24 hours ahead. Good news is, after tomorrow, once the concrete's poured, everything's done, it's like a weight lifted off my shoulders. I'll have some time to kind of relax a little bit. I've been going nonstop. My friends, my family, they've definitely been helping me out a lot to get this building to the point where it's at. And we'll all kind of be able to finally take a break and relax. Now, don't get me wrong, I still got a lot to do, especially outside the building. We'll be getting into using the dozers to grade all the dirt out here and slope it the right way so the water's not pitched towards the building when it rains. But it'll be, there's no more deadlines, I guess I could say. You know, this concrete coming tomorrow, that's a hard deadline. Me sloping that or grading it, it can get done at the pace that it gets done. So big weight will be lifted off my shoulders tomorrow once this is all done. Really cool thing, this concrete crew, they're coming with multiple guys, and they're gonna be able to bust out this 5,000 square foot pour, which is 90 some yards, almost 100 yards of concrete. They're gonna be able to bust this all out one day. It's gonna set up. They're gonna be able to make all the cuts in it, and they'll have the floor drains in, and some of the drains for like the toilets and everything. All that stuff will be done. So when they roll out of here tomorrow, that's it, you know. They've instructed me that I need to wait at least 2 to 3 days to start putting some smaller stuff in here. They said, like, you know, if I wanted to start using ladders or have like a small lift in here to do some stuff. But they basically said, wait a week before I drive anything heavy in here. So that time frame there will definitely allow me to get some stuff done outside the building and take care of some other stuff that I've just been kind of putting to the side since this is the highest priority. But I'm gonna climb up one of the walls and get everybody a bird's eye view of the layout of all the PEX. We completely free-handed it. You are able to go places and they will design this for you, especially if you buy the PEX through them. They'll do a heat study and they'll show you where it needs to be routed and how long each routes are. I personally chose to buy the PEX online because it was significantly cheaper than places that were local. Because of that, I've just kind of completely free-handed the design. I knew that I wanted to keep my living space separate, and I knew that I wanted to keep my garage separate. So that's basically all I needed to know, and I needed to know that, you know, we want to keep 12 inches between each run, and that you want to stay right around 300 feet per run, give or take, you know, 10-15%. So some runs came out to be like 315. The very last run probably came out to be like 285. So all real close to 300 to keep everything uniform. But yeah, I'm gonna get you guys a bird's eye view and then get back to making that all look neat. And All right, so here's the bird's eye view. Kind of see the pattern here for the living space. All returns back over there. And then you can see the division, kind of where I'm cutting off the bottom of the camera right now, going forward to the other header that's over there. There's about 4,000 feet of PEX in the garage space and right around 1,000 feet here in the living space. So they're pretty accurate when they say, 1,000 feet of piping per 1,000 square feet of living space. Downfall is there's usually always waste because you're trying to stay around 300 feet. So you usually end up with anywhere between like 60 to 80 feet of over or left over. Benefit to it, you can use it other places in your house, like in the walls if you're routing hot water to a sink or something like that. So I'm sure I'll use it, but when you have like 60 or 80 feet left over on 5 rolls, it's quite a bit of PEX. I'll probably never use that in my lifetime, so probably end up giving that to my buddy's dad, who's been helping me out with some of the plumbing that we did. So I'm sure he'll use it before I will. But anyway, let's get back to that header over there and finish that all up and get done with this. But here it is. They definitely did a way better finish than I was expecting.